It still doesn't look like much. So we can style our sidebar now that we've got our markup in there. And if we look at style.css that we copied from the other project, we should be able to figure out which of these styles were specific to the sidebar. Hopefully they're all prefixed with .sidebar. There we go. Now we could just copy these into a CSS file that we import, or we could do the fancy thing where we do JavaScript in, or excuse me, CSS in JavaScript, which I kind of want to do. Definitely a little more work right now. Doesn't look too bad. Let's see if we can do some of it. So, all right. I've got several different elements I need to style here. I need to style the sidebar itself. Let's start there. So I'm going to make a variable here called const styles. It's going to be more than one style in here. Oops. I'm going to have a key called sidebar. That's going to be an object with some CSS stuff in it. So I'm going to say width, the string, 60 pixels. How about 6 rims? 6 rim. Since a rim is 10 pixels here. Background color is now camel case because I'm in JavaScript. Hash F3, 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 which is going to be a nice light gray. Let's give it some padding. I assume I can just give it the string 0.5 rim, space 0, comma, display flex. Flex direction, again, I'll have to camel case that. Column. And align items, again, camel cased. Center. I'm going to put my comma there so I don't forget. And I will be pushing this, and you can copy it from there if you need to. So that should all style this element right here. So I'm going to say style equals. I'm going to give it some JavaScript. I'm going to go ahead and put some line breaks in here to make this fit. I'm going to say styles.sidebar. So my styles object down here has a key of sidebar, and that contains all the rules that I actually want to apply to the sidebar itself. So style equals styles.sidebar. Did you get what I'm doing? So I'm going to apply something to the logo. Now don't do this, but I'm going to demonstrate that I could just do this. I could just say style equals and then put the object right in there. So I could put an object literal inside the curly braces, which would end up with 2 sets of curly braces, which is kind of goofy. But I could totally do that and just say font family and so on in here. Could totally do that. I think it's a little better organized if I put that at the bottom. So I'm going to say logo, give it its own styles, font family, camel cased, font 1. In fact, I might even need to put quotes inside my quotes there. Color, the string hash 666, which is short for 666666. Font size, 3 rim. So then up here, I will say style equals styles.logo. Get it? See if it works. I don't even see that thing. What's inside the logo? Oh, just the image. So the font is there just in case we get the alt text. All right. Now my SVG seems to be completely tiny. Well, look at my next rule. Sidebar logo image. So an image that is inside a div with the class of logo that is inside a div with the class of sidebar. So that would be this image here. So I need to stick some style on that. So I will make a new property here that says logo img like that. Give it a width of 3 rem. That's 30 pixels. Give it some padding left, which again I camel case. 4 pixels, I could say 0.4 rem. If I'm going to use rims, I may as well use rims. Now to apply that, okay, I called it logo img. Going to go up to my image here. Go and put it on multiple lines so it remains kind of readable. Style equals styles. Oops. Not a string. Styles dot logo img. And then hopefully it should be 30 pixels. Yay! It looks good. So now I have my link, my button, and my image hover, and my sign out. So I don't know that there's a lot of benefit in watching me type all this out right now. I can do it tonight and push it. But that's what I'm going to try to do. Then I'm going to end up with a sidebar that looks just like it did in the static version. And then we want to make the note list look the same as the static version. And then we want to make the note form look like the static version. Again, you can use notes.html as your reference for what should be inside each one of those. You can just copy those as is, change classes to class names, etc. Try to style them. If you want to break down and just copy the CSS into a CSS file and import that, fine. If you want to do it this way, there's some advantages to doing it this way, but it also might just make this a little more complicated than you want. So it's not a CSS course. Do whichever way makes you happy. So homework, what I'm going to do is actually just, well, let me commit this first. Begin styling sidebar. Now the README right now just has create React app. You can leave yours that way if you want it for reference. For now, I'm going to start putting the homework in here. So homework, add JSX and style to, well, finish styling sidebar. Add JSX and style to note list and note form. Bonus credit. Store a list of hard-coded notes in state somewhere. It's up to you which component you put it in. Use map to list these notes in note list. Super mega bonus credit. Load a note into the form when you click it in note list. No, we haven't exactly talked about how to do that. We have done some very simple event handling, like clicking the button to change the name or something. So see if you can figure out how to get clicking in one component to change something in another component. If you have data that's coming from outside a component into the component, what do you use? Props, right? So see if you can make that happen. Questions? All right. Go in peace. Enjoy your lunch.